So starting with the 1-for-1, let's open this up. As you see, once you open up the 1-for-1, there's two of these little clips here, and these actually are the mounting clips that will go on the fuselage or the whatever you're mounting them to. For the connectors, they actually go right around the ends here. There's like a little notch in them. So this is, if you see this is a one long lead. It makes a big loop. Let me open this up like this. Kind of see it here. Yep. So what you do with this is one end goes obviously into one side and the other goes on the other side, and allows you to cut the wire wherever you need to plug in the connector. So I like to use this one on the fuselage side because it's protected a little bit. I can see the direction of the pins here easier for myself. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep this side cable long, and we're going to make this one really short to go into the vertical stabilizer, the fin for the rotor servo. So this one's probably going to be cut somewhere along here, and then I want to putting a male end on so I can plug it into the servo itself, and then we'll use the rest of this cable to run to the Royal in the front. So okay, so I cut the wire off the loop for the 1-for-1 cable, and by the way, that cable is pretty long. It's one of the nice things about these systems too, with the cables and such from power boxes. They have really long leads on them, so just the wire between the two connectors is about 72 inches long, basically 2 meters. So I really won't need to add any extra cable on this. I'll be able to run from the connector going in the fuselage approximately here-ish all the way to the front of this plane. This is a pretty big airplane, this Hawk, so it'll run all the way to the end without having to run any extra wire and that kind of thing. So consider that when you're looking at setting up your airplane and what you need to purchase to put it together. So now I'm going to do is, you can see the servo wire basically comes out the bottom of the fin here, and so I'm going to go ahead and put a connector on this piece and get this taped up. So that what will happen is this will just hang out the bottom like this. So all I have to do is just plug this in, and there's real positive clip on these things when you push them in. A really nice feature on these connectors. So let me get the connector on the end of it. So the connector's made up, and I plugged it into the servo lead, and you can see the tape on here. I use tape or heat shrink to hold these connectors together, just from experience, just so they don't come apart. I actually like to use this gaffer's tape. It actually works really well. Gaffer's tape is really sticky, but it won't leave residue on things, but also allows you, if you need to take it apart, you can get it apart relatively easily, but it won't come apart on its own. So about this much in. I'm going to go ahead and tape this inside the fuselage like this. I'm sorry, into the rudder itself, vertical stand, whatever you want to call it. Push it down good, and that's in. So that's it. So this will hang out the bottom, so when I go ahead and put the airplane together, I can just slide it on and clip it together. Next to the fuselage side. Okay, now that we have the 1-for-1 connector all mounted up to the servo, we're going to get it the part that mounts the fuselage set now. So this is the part, this is the end I'm going to put in the fuselage. I like to put the little round part forward. That way when I'm assembling the airplane, I can see it pretty easily. And I've already put the female end connector on this one too, like this. This is going this end. So looking inside here, you can see I've gone ahead and you can see where the hole is it's coming out of, and some blue tape to protect the airplane, and I've marked the center line between the two pins here, and of course where I want to mount the connector. So when I put it in, it's going to go like this, click right in. So you can see it's easy. It's plenty long enough for me to get my hand in there to assemble and disassemble without too much lead hanging off. So now we marked it, I'm going to go ahead and cut the slot for the connector to go through, and I'll show you how to mount the connector in the fuselage. So these are little mounts that come with the 1-for-1 connectors, and they click right around the shape of the end of the connector. I set one inside here. This is really where I want to mount it. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill some small holes. Going to drill a hole, not the two mounting holes, but also then once those are done, I'll use them to hold the tab in, and then drill a small hole in the front and back, and then just use a Dremel to cut the center of it out. There's the mounting flange with the screws in it, and I've drilled two holes to show kind of where the connector will come through. Next thing, I'll take this out and then open that hole up a little bit so the whole connector can go through it. There's the 1-for-1 final installation done on the fuselage side, nice and clean. I'm going to go ahead and put the vertical stab on. Makes it assembling airplanes at the field really easily. Easy. Put this down on here. Slide this down. You can see just like this. Real simple. Goes down. Just make sure that the round part is in the front. See? And just clicks right on. Real positive. And just slide it over. Make sure the wires aren't getting caught in anything as you put them in, which you should be based on how long you had them. Should be fine. You just run on down. That's it. Done.